I've had a couple of rolls of Cinestill 50D and 400D for the longest time, and finally I decided to use them. I just want to have an idea of how these two film stocks compare to each other, and of course it's not a scientific comparison at all, so I'm not gonna shoot the exact same scene with both films because I think it's a waste. So first I loaded my roll of Cinestill 50D in Mamiya C330 with 50mm lens on it, and I headed to Ottawa downtown to shoot some tulips. Here is my first shot of this street performer, and as you can see here, it has a relatively low contrast and a warm look to it. The blue color of the sky looks desaturated, and it has low grain and it's very sharp. In this photo again, I got a low contrast look with desaturated sky. I might have overexposed this shot, but anyhow, the greens of the tree and the grass look a little desaturated. Same look in this photo of the tulips, but you can see that the red and yellow colors look more saturated. But overall, it has a soft and warm look to it. Here is a photo of the tulips again, but this time it seems that my lens flared and resulted in loss of contrast, but the color palette is still same as before. Here I tried to get a macro shot to show the tulip colors, and I have to say that I really like how it rendered the green and red. Again, another shot of the tulips, and here the bottom right corner photo was in the shadow, but you can still see a lot of details, which means the dynamic range of the film is very good. In this shot, I finally got some halation on the handrail, which looks quite nice. Other than that, the same color palette as other shots. Again, another tree shot with very similar greens to the previous shots. Here I had lots of different colors in front of me. I think this shot is a very good example of what this film can do. Desaturated blues, nice greens and reds, and overall soft and low contrast look, but very low grain and at the same time very good sharpness and dynamic range. This shot is same as the previous one, only I lowered the camera to get a different frame, and I think it turned out much better. Next day I loaded my Cinestill 400D in the C330, and with the same 55mm lens we headed to a different location with lots of greens. Here is my first shot of this interesting tree, and you can see that the greens are a little more vibrant than the 50D, but the blue color of the sky is still desaturated. I can also see some magenta tint on the tree trunk, something that I didn't notice with the 50D. Here is another tree which I really like, and I have to say that I like the green color of 400D better than the 50D. Again, I took another tree shot, which to be honest I don't really like, but I put it here to show the shadow areas. I might be wrong, but I think there is less details in the shadows of 400D. Here is a shot of this magnolia tree that shows how the blossom colors are rendered. I also took a close-up shot of this dandelion that shows a more saturated yellow and the same green, but the image has more grain into it. And here is another close-up shot that doesn't have a lot of colors in it, but I like the overall look of the image, and it has a lot of details with warm tones, and I think the little bit of green and yellow are quite nice. And here's my final shot of Cinestill 400D that I took of this beautiful tree, and you can see a little bit of halation in the branches. So if you want to have an idea about how Cinestill 50D compares to Cinestill 400D, I can say that they both have desaturated blue and saturated red, yellow and purple. while the greens of 400D are a little bit more vibrant. Also, it seems that the 400D has more grain, which is expected from an ISO 400 film. Also, the overall look of the Cinestill 50D is a little bit warmer and less contrasty than 400D. About the halation, you can get them from both, but you need to have very strong highlights. So that's it. I hope you liked this video. If yes, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram.